I forgot to press the record button on the record this video. So listen, so from that snippet, that was less than 2 minutes. From that snippet, what is it that drove Kobe?
He wanted to be better.
He wanted to be better, Elijah. He wanted to be better at what?
Everything.
At everything? Was he specific? Be a little bit more specific. What was it that, like, he didn't even give a time frame as to when he became interested in this particular thing, right? What's the thing, Elijah? What was he talking about?
He wanted to win.
Elijah,
like studying other people who are like studying other great.
Say that one more time.
Studying other great players.
Other great what players? Basketball players,
Basketball
right?
players.
Right. So at an early stage, Kobe Bryant knew that this was what he wanted to do, right? And what did he begin doing? Elijah said he started studying other great basketball players, right? You see where this is going, right? So one of the things that he tells you right in the beginning, he tells you how much he enjoyed watching Michael Jordan, all these different players, right? And the thing that he said to himself was what? What did he say to himself? Who can tell me what he said to himself?
He was saying to himself, like, knew that like certain parts of the game that he wasn't the best at. Like he said, I wasn't the fastest. I had to work on that. He had to rely on skill. He said,
Right.
my hands weren't that big, but they were, I mean, they weren't like enormously big, but they were big. So I had to learn how to palm the ball. Like,
Right, and that's actually not that's a good response to another question I was actually going to ask, right? But beforehand, no, it's cool, Mark. No, you still on point, because what Kobe did was he said to himself, let's find out if I can be great like them, right? He said, I love what they're doing, right? I enjoy seeing and watching what they're doing, but let me see if I can do that, right? So he challenged himself first, right? And then Mark, he said, look, my vertical is only 40. It's only 40 inches. My vertical is only 40 inches. My hands were not enormous, but I had to practice, strengthening my hands to be able to grip the ball, right? So he's already analyzing himself and looking at where he can make improvements. He's not beating himself up about the height difference, because some other player has a 45 inch jump or has massive hands and don't have any problem gripping the ball. No, he's like, okay, how can I improve myself, right? How can I better myself, right? You guys get that, right? Give me a thumbs up if you understand that. All right, cool. So let's watch a little bit more.
It's a good separation for me, emotionally, to be able to put myself in a place where at practice or when I'm training or during games, I switch my mind to something else, switch my mode into something else, right? For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus Decimus Meridius in Gladiator, picking up the dirt, smelling dirt, it's go time, right? So that was my mental switch. It was like an actor getting ready for a film. You got to put yourself in that cage. When you're in that cage, you are that character. Then when you leave there, it's something completely different. But when I'm in that cage, bro, don't touch me, don't talk to me. Just leave me alone. How did you get mentally and emotionally so strong where it doesn't bother you? Well, you got to look at the reality of the situation. Like for me, it's not, you kind of got to get over yourself. It's not about you, man. Like, okay, you feel embarrassed. You're not that important. Like, get over yourself. That's where you go. Get over yourself, right? Like you're worried about how people may perceive you, and like you're walking around and it's embarrassing because you shot 5 air balls. Get over yourself, right? And then after that, it's okay, well, why did those air balls happen? Got it. High school, year before, we played 35 games, max, right? Week in between, spaced out. plenty of time to rest. In the NBA, it's back to back to back to back to back to back to back. I didn't have the legs. So you look at the shot, every shot was online. Every shot was online, but every shot was short. Right? I got to get stronger. I got to train differently. The weight training program that I'm doing, I got to tailor it for an 82-game season so that when the playoffs come around, my legs are stronger and that ball gets there. So I look at it with rationale. Say, okay, well, the reason why I shot air balls is because my legs aren't there. I go, well, next year they'll be there. That was it.
Done.
Done.
All right, so I'm not gonna go back to seeing everybody, right? So here's the question. So so he talked about the gladiator, right? Picking up the dirt and getting into that space, right? So the thing that you guys got to think about as, you know, whatever it is that you're focused on, how do you get focused in there, right? So what are some things that you do? What's your routine to get you into that space, right? Because I'm sure some of you guys on the call right now, on the Zoom right now, you guys play sports or you have some type of talent that you do that you know you do. How do you get prepared for that? So that's a question. So how do you get yourself into the zone?
You can get dressed for it, like dressed for that.
Who's that speaking?
Aldrich Crawford.
Who is it? Where is it?
Aldrich.
Aldrich Crawford.
Okay, Aldrich. Okay, I didn't have you down before. I'm writing you down now.
One thing you could do is vision yourself performing moves and going over plays in your head, and just like it's a whole visual thing that you have to do before you, like, it's a process. Yeah, like it's a whole visual thing you have to do before you actually go on the field and perform.
Oh yeah, you could practice before the game real quick.
Is
Yeah.
that Aldrich again?
Yeah.
That sounded like, okay.
For me, on the way to the game, I listen to music. Get me ready for the game, have me focused.
Okay, now let me make a switch for you guys real quick, because I see that, you know, you everybody's taking a sports direction. What about when it's time for academics, right? What about when it's time for that test that you have to take, right? Do you make the switch on that as well? Because those things, this skill set that Kobe is talking about is one of those transferable skills, right? It transfers from one place to another, from one industry into another industry, one aspect of your life into another aspect of your life, right? So that's what makes that's kind of like what creates or help to make your identity and your confidence great, right? Because everybody that I'm sure has come into interacting with Kobe knew and felt that this young man had aspiration and determination and goals beyond belief. I remember watching one reel of him before where he says basically you're not going to outwork him. You're not going to outwork him. So if he has a game that day, he might get to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, right? Where other players are getting into the gym at 10 o'clock. He's getting there at 5 o'clock. That's 5 hour. He got a 5 hour head start every single time he plays the game, right? And then he also said in that same interview, not only does he start at 5 o'clock in the morning, but he's the last one to leave the gym. And you'll hear him in a minute talk about his dedication to the game. And it's a transferable skill that you have to be able to transfer into your work. So I think it was, and when I say your work, I don't just mean, you know, employment, I mean your school, into yourself, right? So I think it was Aldrich and Javon who talked about, you know, getting into that mindset, right? So you have to prepare yourself mentally and get into the mindset that you're the best, that you're going to pass this test. I'm going to pass this test. And that's the way you're going to have to think, right? And the funny thing about it, if you go back, if you get a chance to watch this on your own, you see the title, you can just Google it, YouTube it and watch it on your own if you choose to. But at about 2 minutes, 1 minute 58 mark to 2 minutes, Kobe talks about the universe giving it to you, right? And it's like, the universe will start providing things to you as you begin to focus, right? And that's what's called the law of attraction. And the law of attraction is when you put something out into the universe is going to give it back to you, right? Or going to start setting up things in your direction to make you accomplish what your goal is. So Muhammad Ali has a clip where he talks about, I told myself I was the greatest before anybody else did. And that's what I believed. And you can hear the same mindset in Kobe Bryant when he's talking as well. Like, nobody's going to beat me. You can't beat me. And you'll hear it right now. Watch, listen to this.
Were there some names that you looked at and says, these three guys are as crazy as I am?
At the time, I deal with what I've referred to as Goat Mountain. I went to Goat Mountain and I talked to Magic, Michael, Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, Jerry West, Oscar Robinson, Bill Russell.
Quick pause, and I'm gonna let it play. These are all the people that he admired. He admired and were his mentors, right? So these are the people that he looked up to. So what does that mean? You have to find yourself someone that you look up to and align yourself with that person and start doing the things that they do great, right? Start having conversation with them. If you got, like, this is a male mentoring program, you guys have the capability of reaching out to us when you have stresses, when you have accomplishments, when you have all these things going on, because we've been to those places. And believe it or not, I think we're pretty successful because we're still here. We're here and we're outside and we're readily available. We're not in a place where we shouldn't be. Does that make sense to you guys without me saying, or, you know what I mean, alluding to it? But we're in that space where we can assist you guys in reaching your goals.
Brother Hawk, I would just like to say that two out of those 5 people that he mentioned are good men of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated as well.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, Greg, Brother Greg.
What did you do? What were your experiences? Michael in particular, he's become my big brother. He's been my big brother since I first came in the league. And what was that process like? So I went to them and started understanding the ins and outs of the game and how they approach things and their level of detail and obsessiveness. And that's what I did. The players that had that passion, but weren't willing to commit their entire lives to doing that, right? It's a choice, right? You have other things, you have family, you have all these other things you have to do. The game can't really be your number one priority. And so that's
David Richter causes a mess everywhere he goes. He resigned in disgrace from his father's company after it lost millions
I can't help
that eventually contaminated our air and water. Let's keep Richter out of Congress, or we'll be stuck cleaning up the mess.
just looking at that like, man, this is gonna be fun.
If I'm buddies with you from high school, if I'm a cousin of yours, what happened to our relationship? How did that gravitate when you went into the league and you're determined to become the greatest, or you're determined to become one of the greatest? What happens to our relationship?
Oh, it suffers.
It does suffer.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And you understood that. You were okay with that.
Yeah, and the people that love you, like friends and family, like they know that about you.
Got it.
So they let you be you. And when you reconvene, you pick back up where you left off. But make no mistake about it, everything in between is lost, right? So those long-term relationships, the commitment of time of, taking vacation. Like I see a lot of players take vacations with other players that are close friends. And we'll just take vacations just to take vacations, or just hang out just to hang out. Like I never did that. But it's a
Why
choice.
not though? Why didn't you do that?
Well, because when I retire, I didn't want to have to say, I wish I would have done more. I don't want that. You know?
So let's pause for a quick minute because you have to understand, as you are developing into the men that you're going to be, there's going to be some moments where he said earlier, you have to get out of your way. And getting out of your way simply means stay out of your head about what you think other people think about you. Does that make sense? So you can't worry yourself about what you think people are thinking about you based on what you're doing. Does that make sense? So if you're out there on the field and you're running and you might have a awkward run, right? Like when I was young, I used to run sprints, 100-yard dash sprints, right? And so when I ran, my shoulders will always tense up like this. And so like my cousins and them, they would, they ran as well and they would like tease me about that and stuff, but I couldn't let that get in my way. And you shouldn't let that get in your way because the goal is to make improvements to yourself, right? So as he stated in the beginning, his hands weren't enormous, right? So what did he do? He started strengthening his hand, right? His speed wasn't the greatest. So what did he do? He started looking at different angles. How can I hit the basket from this angle? How can I hit the basket from this angle? How can I make this shot? And practicing those things. So getting out of your way and not worrying about what others think is one of those, it might be a challenge, but you can do it, right? Because ultimately you have a vision of where you want to be, a focus of where you want to be, and you want to get there. Okay.
I don't want that.
And you don't want any regrets. That's what he's talking about. You don't want that.
You got a lot of people paying their hard-earned money to come watch you perform. It's your job to be in shape. It's your job to be strong enough to perform at that level every single night. And as a competitor, I'm not ducking shit. Like it's not, oh my God, my back hurts, I'm sore. We got to play Vince Carter and Toronto Raptors tonight. We actually had this happen. We had a game against Toronto in 2000. And Vince was tearing the league up. My back was jacked. Like the perception of that, like what? Kobe's missing the game against Toronto, Vince Carter, because my back was really spasming. But people will be like, what? Oh, he's ducking Vince. Excuse me? No, I don't think so. So I would be in a layup line like, okay, there's a lot of days where you can rest and recover. Today ain't one of them. Your back can bother you any other day. That ain't bothering me today. He gonna have to see me today. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry. So you hear what he's talking about, right? And a lot of people may think that that's really arrogance, but that's confidence. Self-identity is part of your confidence level, right? And so when I talked about, at the beginning of this meeting, being able to be comfortable in your skin during a Zoom meeting, right? Being able to be comfortable on a video call, right? That's the confidence level that you have to have as you moving about in this world. As young men, you have to be confident. You have to be confident. Like nobody, I'm sure, many of you think that, if you're a gamer, can't nobody touch me on this particular game. You can't touch me in Madden. You can't touch me in, whatever the games are. I'm not a gamer. So you're right. I can't touch you on that. Right. So, but you have to be confident because guess what? Josh might challenge Mark to a game of Madden and, and Mark be like, you know what? you can't see me on that. Right? You can't see me. Right? And that's what it was between him and Vince. Right? This dude's back is killing him. But he didn't let that stop him from getting in the game. Because imagine, imagine I'm watching this thing right now called Versus. I know you guys familiar with Versus, where different artists compete against each other. Well, Busta Rhymes is going in on T.I. I don't know if you guys know these two rappers or whatever, but Busta Rhymes is going in on T.I. And I don't know, I haven't heard anything from T.I., but ain't no way you're gonna allow somebody to come into your domain, it's your industry, and tell you you can't beat them or that they can beat you, right?
If you're looking at a big investments you got to make, what is the decision?
4 points, guys. 4 points.
Is there first you do your
See
own
if you can
research,
recognize
this much time you call an advisor? Is there a system you
No, it's
follow?
pretty simple for me. It's do you understand the business? Is it a business that you can help in some form or fashion? What are the barriers of entry to that business? And then the entrepreneurs themselves, the company itself, do they have a culture that you believe is sustainable? Are these leaders people that you believe in? Are they people that are obsessives? And in turn, have they created a culture of obsessiveness? So I tend to look at those 4 factors, and that's it. That's big right there, by the way. I don't know if you guys caught that right there. That's pretty massive right there.
So he talked about four things. Do you understand the business, right? Not just, so right now he's talking about an industry, I think it was a video industry that he was going into, not sure, but he said, do you understand the business? Apply it to your life, right? Do you understand the content of whatever subject you have in school, right? Whatever sport you're playing, do you understand it, right? Is it something that, you know, that you can help, right? How can you improve it, right? What's the barriers? What's stopping you from being successful in that industry, in that business, right? What are your obstacles that you have to get over, right? And then the last thing is, do you have sustainability in it, right? Is it a culture that helps to create sustainability for the long term, right? Is it something that's going to provide you an outcome in the long run, right? So if you're looking at that test score, is it something that's going to benefit you down the road? If you're looking at the sport that you're playing, is it something that's going to benefit you down the road? If it's something that's going to benefit you down the road and you can get a scholarship from it, whether it's academic or athletic, go for it, you know, do it, right? But if it's not going to benefit you, you know, you can still do it. Don't get me wrong. That one of the things that I really love about this about this video is that he's talking about how much he enjoyed the sport of basketball, how much fun he had, right? Taking on these challenges. He was willing to have the fun. It's the fun that moves you. It's the fun, the excitement of it, the joy of it. That's what's really going to move you.
Same determination. What's your current work schedule look like today?
It's different because I personally am not writing every word of the novels. I am not animating the films. What I have to do now is make sure that the people that we bring in, these obsessives that we bring in, are challenging themselves to do the best job that they think they can do. That's what I'm there for, is for them to constantly look in the mirror and self-assess and challenge themselves. If we have a project and you're saying, okay, I can do that, that's not the project we want. The projects that say, I don't know if I can animate that. I don't know how to write that story. I don't know how to do that. Those are the things we want, because through that curiosity, you'll reach a level that you didn't think was possible. And so running the studio, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, consider this, right? Think about what he just said, right? Being able to challenge yourself, right? In the very beginning of this clip, he talked about how he admired these particular basketball players. And the thing that he said to himself was, I think I can do that. Can I do that? I think I can do that. Let's go, right? And so he challenged himself to take himself to the next level, right? And he did that. Kobe, like I said before, I'm not a sports person, but I will venture to say he's one of the best in the business, if not the best, right? Or was one of the best, right? And some people can argue that, but he's a dynamic, great, excellent player on and off the court. This only has a couple more minutes, guys. It's actually close to being finished, and then we'll wrap up.
You're playing against the Golden State Warriors. Score is 107-109. You guys are close to getting into the playoffs. You know exactly what happens in the game. You go up, you're about to take your shot, and then all of a sudden, boom, your Achilles happens, right? He went and hit the free throws, and then you walked off the stage.
Yeah.
And you got the surgery done.
Right. I went in the training room. My kids are in there, and they're looking at you and stuff, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, it's all right. Dad's gonna be all right. We'll be fine. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. As a parent, you gotta set the example. You gotta set the example. This is another obstacle. This obstacle cannot define me. It's not going to cripple me. It's not going to be responsible for me stepping away for the game that I love. I'm going to step away on my own terms. And that's when the decision was made that, you know what? I'm doing it. Doing it. You're a freaking beast, bro. Yeah.
Okay, so that last part is pretty awesome, right? Because you have to understand that in life you're gonna have those moments where you're gonna have some obstacles that are definitely gonna get in your way. They're definitely gonna get in your way. One of the obstacles is that you're an African American male. You are a Black male, right? And in some communities, some places, that might be seen as a threat, right? But you can't allow that thing to stop you from going after your dreams. And that's what he's talking about. And, as mentors to you guys have access to us, and you have to understand that, in those moments when you are, being beat down, you have to rise back up. I watched another clip with, who's the baseball player number 42? Who was that?
Jackie Robinson.
Who said that? Kyle? Kyle Williams. Yes, so Jackie Robinson, right? If you ever watched that movie, there's a scene where he was out on the baseball field, and I forget what happened. I think the white guy said something to him that was crossways, and everybody was staring at Jackie Robinson to see his response, right? Waiting for him to blow up, right? If he had blown up to whatever that white guy's comment was, then that could have potentially stopped or pivoted all the successful, Black athletes that came into basketball. Into the baseball field at that point. That could have stopped or halted all of that, right? Depending on it all weighted on Jackie Robinson's response at that point, right? So instead, he walks off the court and he goes into the tunnel and he takes his bat and he, bam, slams it up against the wall. It breaks, and then he's, falls down on the floor, and he's ready to throw the towel in. He's ready to give up. And then the I think it's the baseball manager comes into the scene, and he's talking to Jackie Robinson. He's like, listen, yes, I'm not Black. You can't give up though. You can't give up. And this is exactly what Kobe was talking about, right? You're gonna have those obstacles. He tore his whatever Achilles heel. He tore something in his leg or something. I don't know what it was. Yeah, I see you nodding, Brother Goodman. He tore his Achilles heel, right? And he had to have surgery right during the time of the game. Like he could have got off the court. Even Jordan came to the playoffs, ill, and won, right? So you're gonna have those moments where you're gonna feel like you want to give up, and you can't give up, right? You can't give up. Brother Goodman and Brother Tardy, Brother Gray, I don't know if you still on the line. Oh yeah, I see you. If you guys want to comment real quickly, or if you have anything that you want to say, because I know we're past the 4 o'clock hour. I think it's 5:06. Nothing to say, Brother Goodman, Brother Tardy?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say something real quick. So, like Kobe, he tore his Achilles. I think it was like his 15 year or 16 year. So, like he was saying, it was easy for him to just say, "Okay, I've given all to the game that I can, right? So I can just give up." So, whether you're an athlete, you might be going through stuff. You might have injury, right? Or you might be taking a hard class and you might not pass that first quiz or that second quiz, right? It's about how you're gonna use that obstacle to motivate you, right? And that all of that to create your self identity, because the way how you persevere to those obstacles, really gonna groom you into who you want to be in life.
Brother Gray, did you want to make a comment? I think I saw you unmute yourself before.
Yeah, I would just like to say that, just echo those words. There's always going to be obstacles, but you have the ability and the support to overcome them all. So reach out to us if you need anything, but you have it within yourself to overcome these obstacles, right? Oftentimes a word of encouragement is all that's needed, but you have help here as well.
So I'm gonna go back to my screen just to make sure that I'm where I should be. Well, we should be over, right? So just give me 1 second. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna close out with this, right? So today is the 25th. So I'm gonna find out, I doubt if this happens. I told you guys this before, about the Westward Halloween candy giveaway. But if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you register for the Philadelphia College Fair. Make sure you register for the Philadelphia College Fair. Our next meeting is gonna be on the 14th. And then we are talking as a fraternity as to what we're going to be doing for Thanksgiving baskets. I know many of you have already participated in the past on when we put together the Thanksgiving baskets, and so we might do that again this year. It really all depends. Not really sure yet, but I will let you know in advance. Remember, again, go to the Philadelphia College Fair, November 8th. Is from 2 till 10 o'clock. That doesn't mean you have to stay there from 2 to 10 o'clock. It just means that it's going on from 2 to 10 o'clock. So participate if you can. I'm really not going to go into advisory remarks. I told you guys already about the election process. Do any one of you want to make a comment on, oh yeah, let me get to this screen. Any one of you want to get to make comments on for the good of Kappa League? Anything you guys want to share? Let me stop sharing my screen for a moment so I can fill in these names. The silence is concerning. Nobody has any good news to share?
All I gotta say is I hope everybody have a good week.
That sounded like Mark Holmes.
Did anybody have any games this week?
Yeah, Friday.
How did it go?
We lost.
You must have played Ewing.
Nah, we played Allentown.
Guess you could say be safe on Halloween.
How y'all lose to Allentown? They're garbage.
It was coaching, not coaching. We couldn't
Bitch.
beat them, though. We got Hightstown next week though. We're gonna be Hightstown. For sure. Hightstown.
You won lost to Ice.
Send me a text. Let me know when the game is.
lost to Ice.
All right, Mr. Gary, I got you.
Anybody have any academic achievements this week?
No one?
I had
I
a
mean,
test. I think I did pretty well on my test.
It's virtual school. Like, I'm not sure what we would achieve.
Hey, listen up for your name real quickly, right? So right now, and remember, I can't see you guys, so you got to work with me. So I have Demetrius, and Demetrius was the first one on the call today. So great job, Demetrius. So I have Demetrius, and let me know if you're still on the line by just let me know, like say here or whatever. So I have Demetrius, Kyrie,
Here.
Caden,
Here.
Destin,
Here.
Elijah,
Here.
Arrington,
Here.
Javier. Here. Trent. Did Trent leave? Last
Yeah.
call, Trent.
I don't see him more.
Okay, I'm gonna take his name out. Damir,
Here.
Cameron A,
Here.
Jordan, Jordan left. Last call, Jordan. You said
He
you don't
left.
see him on there? He left?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take him out. Mark,
Here.
Cameron James,
Here.
Javon,
Here.
Eldrick,
Here.
and Kyle.
Here.
Is there any name that I did not mention?
On there, Jediah.
Jediah?
Yeah.
Jaden Glover.
IH, right?
JEDIAH.
Okay. And was there someone else that spoke to?
Jaden Glover.
Jaden Glover. Jadeon, right?
No, JAYDEN.
Jayden. Okay.
Did you
Anyone
get
else?
me?
Who was that?
Josh.
Josh? Is that everyone? Okay, cool. Let me share my screen real quickly. So we're gonna spin the wheel once. We're gonna spin the wheel once because Demetrius already won because he was the first one. He was the first one on the call today. So excellent job, Demetrius. I'm really shooting to start at 3 o'clock, gentlemen. So if you can make sure that you do your best to be here at 3 o'clock, we can get started. I'll open up the room. I'll try to open up the room at maybe 2:50, 2:55, so we can get started on time at 3. So do your best to be here by 3 o'clock, okay? And I'm gonna spin the wheel. I'm surprised Carter wasn't here. And it looks like, oh, Kyle. Okay, Kyle. So we have 2 winners.
So what does the wheel? What's the wheel for?
Who asked that question?
Aldrich.
Aldrich. Okay, so Aldrich, somebody chime in and answer Aldrich's question.
It's for a gift card.
Why?
I think it's
Mark,
for
Participation.
Say it again. Say it again, Mark.
someone else said something. I don't know who though.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I said for participation.
Yes. Who was that said for participation?
Damir.
I mean, my man. All right. So
But
let's.
half the people didn't even say anything.
But that's okay. You know why? Here's the thing. Right now, I got a 3-way tie between Javon, Damir, and Mark. Because as the meeting goes on, when you guys comment, I'm taking tally of who's making what statements, right? So you guys might want to up your game, because right now I'm gonna have a quick conversation with my fraternity brothers, and one of those three, maybe all three, I don't know how this is gonna pay out or play out, but y'all might be recipients of something good, okay? Even if it's something that you think ain't good, it's still gonna be good because you ain't have to pay for it. So we're gonna talk about it. And listen, gentlemen, let me stop sharing my screen real quickly. Again, I really do enjoy my time with you guys. And this is about empowering our youth, right? Empowering people of color, young men of color like myself, and helping you guys, right? So I don't want you guys to take that lightly. That's something that is near and dear to my heart. I'm sure it's near and dear to Brother Gray's heart. I see Brother Taylor's on Brother Taylor's heart, Brother Tardy's heart, Brother Goodman's heart. We are parents. Let me say, myself, Brother Goodman, Brother Gray are parents, right? And so we have a different perspective than, say, a younger brother like Brother Tardy does, right? And so when we're interacting with you guys, we're looking at it from that standpoint of a parent and as a mentor, right? Brother Tardy is going to look at you guys from a mentor, and from he's in the age range that's not too far off from you guys, right? So he might know a little bit more and do a little bit more things than, say, I would. Like, I'm not a gamer. Brother Tardy, you play games?
Definitely. 2K.
See, that's what I'm talking. So I don't play 2K, but that's a connection point for you guys at that point, because now if Elijah Goodman or Javon, if you guys play 2K, boom, you can hit Brother Tardy up and, you know, have this gaming tournament, or we could do a gaming tournament, and y'all can start connecting and then having conversations with him and seeing where his head is at and mentoring. And so that's where Kappa League is important, right? That's the power of Kappa.
I'm sorry, Brother Hot, can I pause you for one quick second?
Go ahead.
I apologize, I don't want to interrupt, but you said something. Would you guys be interested in having a gaming tournament?
That means you got to respond.
Yes.
What is the Hot? 2 thumbs up. Give thumbs up. If we
Give a
got
thumbs
enough.
up if you think that that's cool. That's something you want to participate in.
All right, so Brother Tarty, why don't we take that away and discuss kind of some logistics?
All right.
And then we can get back to you. Sorry, Brother Hot.
No, it's cool. It's all good, because again, I just want you guys to understand our perspective, right? So we have over 60 brothers that's in our chapter in every field of everything, right? So if you're interested in something, there's more than likely that there's a brother in our chapter that can assist you in it, right? And these are the connections that will help bridge that gap, right? So you can begin playing these games with, you know, Brother Tardy, and find out Brother Tardy's interested in some things that you're interested in, and he's successful in this. And if he's not successful in this, he can lead you to somebody that is successful in this, right? And so it's about bridging that gap between your generation, Brother Tardy's generation, my generation, you know, other generation. It's about bridging the gap and making those connections. So I just wanted to emphasize that with you, young men. I really do appreciate all of you participating in our bi-weekly meetings. November and December have really just, you know, it's really just 2 meetings in both of those months, right? Because the other things that's going on are things that you're going to be doing on your own. So you have to be responsible for your own actions, your own, you know, education, your focus, all of those things. So when we put out there about the college fair, if your intention is to go to college, you might want to take advantage of that, right? You might want to take advantage of that opportunity. It's free. It's not costing you anything. And you'll begin to learn what the steps are to pursue college and how to pay for it. because I know as a youth, I know I was concerned about how my parents were going to pay for college, right? I'm sure every brother on here who has gone to college, and everybody here has, right? Every one of my fraternity brothers that has gone to college might have had that concern when they were at your age, right? And even the parents, they're like, you can, this information that I share it out to you, and I share it out to your parents so that they know as well, right? But you have to be responsible for you. So on that note, I know I'm late for my next meeting, and I just want to say I appreciate you all and thank you guys for being here, and I will see you at the next meeting. Okay, you're free to sign out unless you have something that you want to share. Jediah, good to see you, man.
All right, take care. See y'all later.
You gentlemen,
Okay.
Take care.
work hard.
Eldrick, this is where you can sign off now, Eldrick and Jaden.
Just sign them out.
Cool meeting, gentlemen.
Good job, Hawk.
Good job.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro.
No doubt, no doubt. Great job.
1 second.
Artie, life of the party.
What's up?
So I think that's a great idea to have that tournament. I don't know brackets and how that structure happens. You guys are the sports gentlemen. You know, just let me know and I'll put it out there. I'll get there, you know, whatever information you need from me, I can get it from them. And, you know, their usernames or whatever. I don't know what else you would need, but, you know, just let me know what you would need and I can get it.
Hey, Hawk, I think it's a great idea too. And what I would make a recommendation is to get more brothers involved. It's like we do with paintball, where it's Kappa Leaguers versus us. Have a bracket where you have the kids, the Kappa Leaguers, and then have a bracket with brothers that game. Like if you do 2K or Madden or something like that, those are the easiest. And then have the winner play up against each other.
Yep.
And then because everybody could watch in today's world, you could watch gaming from wherever. All you need is the login information. Because we got brothers that game. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's some of our undergrads.
Yeah, it may work out that way, because what I was hoping is like for interaction. Lily, stop. For interaction between the brothers and with the Kappa Leaguers.
Yeah.
Right? The only way to get that is kind of if they're playing each other, but it may be able to work out similar to what you said, Brian, because people don't have, like I think already, I mean, I haven't been a gamer in a minute, but I think you have to be on the same platform, right?
Right. So
Yeah.
Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah, so it may work, it may naturally kind of work out that way.
Yeah.
Once you kind of get the platforms in the game.
And don't be surprised how many kids got both systems. You know what I'm saying? Most of these kids got both systems.
Right.
And at this point, if they have the system, they definitely have the online capability.
Yeah. And that's what they do. That's their Friday night. They gaming with their friends all on the same system and platform.
So Hawk, we'll get you an email to send out, and then you could just send it through the distribution.
Okay. All right. That's cool. That's cool. Look, brothers, I'm not going to keep you guys. I do have to get on to another Zoom call. And again, I appreciate it. And if we can, what came to mind while you were talking, B, is not just on our side as a chapter, doing it with our Kappa Leaguers, but doing it with, say, NBA, Montclair, Girl Camp, making it huge. And that could be our thing, our niche.
That's a good look. I like that idea.
Yeah.
So I was thinking kind of very similar, because they game. All these kids game.
Yeah.
I
can't
participate in the gaming part, but I'll watch.
Yeah, it's all good. I like it.
All right.
Hey, Hawk, before you go, what do you want to do? You just want to give all the kids gift certificates for this week, since you don't really have a criteria to distinguish.